Imagine waking up in the middle of the night because you're freezing to death. The fire has almost gone out. The wind is forcing its way through your shelter. Your children are huddled against you for warmth. And if you don't get the fire burning again before sunrise, your entire family might not survive the night. This wasn't a rare disaster. For thousands of generations, this was simply winter. Long before heated homes, insulated jackets, and grocery stores, your ancestors faced temperatures so brutal they could kill a healthy person in just a few hours. Giant sheets of ice covered huge parts of the earth. Food disappeared for months. The wind never seemed to stop, and somehow they survived. You're the proof they did. Every one of your ancestors endured winters they couldn't afford to lose. One mistake meant the end of an entire family line. So how did a hairless animal that evolved under the African sun survive one of the coldest periods in Earth's history? The answer wasn't strength, it was intelligence. Around 26,000 years ago, the Earth entered the coldest stage of the last ice age. Massive glaciers covered much of Europe, Asia, and North America. Mammoths, woolly rhinos, and cave bears roamed frozen landscapes that looked nothing like the world we know today. Humans weren't designed for this. We don't have thick fur like mammoths. We don't have blubber like seals. We can't hibernate like bears. On paper, we should have disappeared. Instead, we became the only species capable of changing the environment faster than the environment could change us. The first weapon against winter was fire. By the Ice Age, humans had already mastered it. Fire wasn't just for warmth. It cooked food, scared away predators, hardened wooden spears, melted snow into drinking water, and gave people precious hours of light after sunset. But fire had one problem. The moment you walked away from it, the cold came with you. So humans did something no other animal could. They borrowed warmth from other animals. Early hunters wrapped themselves in hides, but loose skins weren't enough for freezing temperatures. Then came one of humanity's greatest inventions, the sewing needle. Made from bone or ivory, these tiny tools allowed people to stitch fitted coats, boots, gloves, and layered clothing that trapped warm air close to the body. In many ways, the sewing needle became humanity's artificial fur. Shelter evolved too. People often imagine Ice Age humans hiding in caves, but many built surprisingly advanced homes. In places where trees were scarce, entire houses were constructed from mammoth bones, covered with hides, moss, and earth to trap heat inside. Some shelters were even designed so cold air stayed near the entrance, while warm air collected where people slept. They didn't know the science. They simply learned what worked. But staying warm only solved half the problem. Winter also meant hunger. Plants disappeared for months, and successful hunts became rare. Every animal mattered. Nothing was wasted. Meat was dried, smoked, or naturally frozen by the cold. Bones became tools. Fat became fuel for fires. Hides became clothing. Every part of the animal helped someone survive. And perhaps the greatest survival tool wasn't fire, clothing, or shelter. It was each other. Humans survived because they lived in groups. Families shared body heat while sleeping. Food was divided among the community. Knowledge passed from one generation to the next. A person alone rarely survived an Ice Age winter. A tribe could. That's what made humans different. We weren't the strongest animal. We weren't the fastest. We weren't even the best adapted to the cold, but we could cooperate better than any other species on Earth. For thousands of years, winter was humanity's greatest enemy. Every snowfall was another test. Every freezing night was another gamble. Yet generation after generation, your ancestors found new ways to adapt. They mastered fire, invented clothing, built insulated shelters, stored food months in advance, and relied on one another when survival became impossible alone. Today, winter is mostly an inconvenience. We complain about scraping ice off a windshield before climbing into a heated car. We turn a thermostat and expect warmth to appear instantly. But not long ago, winter was a war. And the reason you're alive today is because, thousands of years ago, someone refused to let the cold win.